Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 24th of January. This is our weekly recap. This goes out to all my subscribers as well as everybody on my email list and YouTube. If you're interested in learning more about me, head over to smartoptiontrading.com and take a look. So, today, what kind of day was it? It was a really weird last couple of days. When we look at this week here and we pull up a chart of the SPY, and you can see we got our first bout of weakness we've had in a while. And, you know, we look at this and say we have not touched the 8 days since all the way back here in the beginning of January. Well, yesterday and today, we finally touched it. Yesterday, we touched it. We bounced up. We opened up this morning. We engulfed yesterday's candle. We didn't go to the 21-day, and now we're bouncing off this area here. And this is all basically running around. We're basically selling off here on every little algo sweep or news that Benzinger or CNBC or whoever it is pushing out there on this coronavirus in China. And, so far there's about 900 cases with 26 or so reported deaths. And the thing to put this in perspective is this is nothing compared to the flu. Now, could it be a lot worse than China's letting on? Of course it could be. They're quarantine things, it's China, we can't get things out of there. But, all these cases that are popping up, onesies and twosies around the rest of the world, they're all coming out of China from people who traveled, and everybody's working quickly to get control of it. And it really seems to only be very dangerous to people who are elderly at this point. So, with that said, it's hard to get extremely wicked bearish on this market when we have one of the biggest earnings weeks of the quarter ahead of us next week. The next couple of weeks are very, very busy. But here you are getting some weakness in the markets, and we'll see where this goes. When we talk about flow is messy. It's earnings season. It always gets like during this. But there's been things to do. And, if you don't look intraday, you just need to look at daily charts here and, see what's going on here. So, you look at Apple. Apple, every dip on this name's been bought, put a new all-time high in today, right? Incredible strength here. Hasn't even touched the 8-day now since all the way back here on this day in the beginning of January. They have earnings next week. That's going to be interesting. You take that aside, Microsoft finally gave a weak candle all the way to the 8-day today. It's been a while since that touched that. Same thing with Google. Finally, a day of weakness today. Came in, touched the 8-day. They got 2 weeks to earnings. Amazon was one of the weaker names today, which is kind of interesting to me because you would think Amazon here would be stronger, but it wasn't. Amazon was not as strong as it should have been, but, it happens. Netflix, more next week's 380 calls coming in. They keep hitting these. All right, so it came down to the 21-day, pushed through it, now came back. It has earnings next week, so that's out of play for me for next week. And then there's the things I did play with today. So I traded Intel off the open, made some money on it. It held in very well today. Nice move, big gap up here. Chart looks very nice here. We'll keep an eye on this one. I traded Netflix twice today with calls. Netflix yesterday as well. Beautiful trade here yesterday. Another nice trade today. I left too early. I got back in. I took a little loss, so I gave a little bit of my profits back, but that happens. Nice move here. They're buying the next week, the Jan 31st 380s all day up here. We'll keep an eye on this one. It didn't quite fill that gap. The gap fill is at 361.75. So, now it's got $7 move to it. We'll keep this one on our radar going into next week as well. Traded Square, made nice money there today as well. Still have my long-term position that I bought a couple weeks ago. Square, beautiful move up here into the gap, holding in well, pushing up again. One of the first names off the bottoms today, acting better than most. Bottom line, the markets gave trades. Boeing has been just an unbelievably weird, if you can trade quickly and volatile, Boeing's your name. Yesterday got a bunch more downgrades after bad news goes up. Today, gaps up, right? Gaps up, yanks. And, hard on news that they may cut production of the Dreamliner. And then the FAA comes out and they say they see the MAX back in the air midsummer, and this thing shoots off like a bat out of hell. And, it's always about what news do you believe. But bottom line is earnings next week's going to tell the tale. And if this name starts to wake up, this will be a nice long one to get back in and play. Go over to China. China names are getting beat up. They were all over BABA and the 190 puts here, all different strikes in here on this one coming in. BABA finally gave up that ghost and has come in. The one that is holding in better than I expected is LK here. Should be down lower, but just kind of holding in there. A lot of pent up longs in this thing. The one to short, which I didn't think of until late today, was Yum China. Again, who's going to buy food from anywhere in China? So these got hit. And anything associated with China right now and getting together, like the casinos, Wynn and LVS, these should all be on your buy list for when this is over. Same thing with CCL. But you should be extra careful here, maybe even short these here or take a look at them. Bottom line is things were okay. I added to my VIX hedge today. There was a nice trade there. Nice green week. There were a lot of trades to be had this week. I was pretty active this week when it goes down to it. Let me pull it up here for you. I traded a large mix of common and calls and puts. Amazon, I freaked myself out and let myself get out of it today. I only had one of them that went from a $1.24, well, $1.24 before I got in. It actually went up to over $9. Really mad at myself for that. But bottom line is what I did all week that worked well, and why everything is I didn't let my losers get away from me. I kept them tight, and I kept money and just kept putting money in my pocket. In this market, you keep looking for ways to put money in your pocket until it changes. Until we get a little bit better change in character here. You look for names that are acting better. That's why we were on Netflix today. Apple, right? These are names you keep looking for that are acting better. Yesterday, AMD was also acting better, right? You look to play those names. You look for the volume is, and you avoid names that are just not acting special, like Roku today. Just not acting well. Yesterday gave that hammer reversal. Today you got an engulfing hammer down. You know, won't go, but continues to look weak here. And again, here's your action on it. You look on a 5-minute chart, and this is what makes these names so tough. There was a trade for me here. If you had taken it when it broke above the opening 5-minute candle, there was a trade up into the highs. If you could have gone out, right? If you were disciplined, but then it came crashing back down, and then it just kept going down all day long. And these are things you just kind of have to watch with and be careful with. So bottom line is the market's still in here holding in. Definitely some warning signs when you look at things like the HYG. We call this the canary in the coal mine, and why? It's because this is the junk bonds, the corporate junk bonds. It tends to roll over before the market. The term canary in the coal mine, that comes from the miners of old in the coal mine. They used to keep canaries around them because they were very sensitive to gas buildup and would be the first thing to give them a warning sign. So, this started to roll over this week when the market was pushing to highs, and this gave the first warning sign. So we'll keep an eye on this now to see what it does. I hope you guys all had a great week, and I'll post some charts. I think tomorrow I'm going to be busy on Sunday. So everybody have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys later.